Good morning, everybody. It is day 7 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 14. Let's see what we got going on today. Let's see. Sorry about this. Let me see. Our sketch is Tracy England, and she has 3 3x4 photos. And let's see what we got going on here. She's actually kind of worded it out, which is nice. We got large embellishment cluster, embellishment. There's 3 papers identified and then a title. This is kind of a neat little way she's done that. Now, what I've got going on here, it says 3 pictures. What have I got? What have I got? Oh, I think I printed it twice. I printed it big twice. What in the world got on here, y'all? I don't know how to do that. I got 2 3x4s here. We went to the Library of Congress when we were in D.C. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. But anyway, I got the Library of Congress and my little library card. And I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. And then I have this Scrap Room Flavors of the Month. They sent me a photoplay book club. I think the name is by Tracy y'all, Smith. I don't have my glasses on. Anyway, so it's got these cute book things. Isn't that adorable? And then I haven't even looked through these papers, you guys. So I will have, diagonal stripe, yay. And we got some cardstock. And then we have 2 additional papers. Oh, the paper airplanes. Oh, that's neat. This might be one of my, because it's got 3, right? I've only got 2 photos, so maybe I can use one of these. That's kind of cute. Oh, that's good for like a, I don't know, y'all. I may have to figure out a way to keep some of this because that could go like in a planner and you could write your books on it. Anyways, and then I got, book papers and a paper airplane. Well, I got 3 papers. If I got this, use this as my background, I could probably use, I mean, she's got 3 papers going all the way across, but I could probably make something work. And then use these 2, 3 together, and then I'll be able to use this little cut apart. So that's kind of, and then from a title standpoint, I don't know what I could do. I mean, read is a really good title, but technically this isn't about reading. It's more about where we were. I'm going to think about that one. Oh, I like a little banner here. Anyways, that's what I'm starting with. So Demi, let me do a cutting, and I'll probably also grab, you know what? I may not grab white cardstock. I may grab cream, or maybe I'll use this piece. All right, let me do a little cutting. I'll be back on in a second. All right, gang, I have taken my little stripe there and I've gutted it, as you can see. And I've got my little turquoise paper that I cut down by a 1/2 inch. And I'm using my liquid glue. I mentioned on my last video, I'm going to start trying to do this when I do this type of thing, because you'll notice I get it down here. I do have to kind of shift it here and there. Now, I will say the Nuvo glue, I may not use that next time because it definitely grabs fast and starts working good, which is good. I mean, normally 90% of the time that's what you want. Last time I used the little Berry Art glue, and I kind of decided not to this time because I was like, well, that's got a real fine tip on it, and I don't want to use up the glue that has the fine tip. Well, I probably need to keep using it because it offers just a little more wiggle room for a little bit longer time. So then I decided, okay, I got to get my little papers cut here, and I cut this newspaper print, I believe it was 5 inches, and I'm actually going to decide that's not enough in a minute, but for the moment, that's okay. And then I'm going to take a little paper airplane, which is the back side of it, and I cut it I think it's 3.5 inches. And I'll flip that over, and I'll go, okay, that looks great. But there's a 3rd piece of paper, right? And so I've got to get my little, it's the gutted piece. I think it's the gutted piece of this stripe. And it's got the little yellow hearts and all that kind of stuff. So at the moment, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Also, by the way, I did mount the photos on the cream cardstock I've had pulled out of my stash. That's not going to stay that way, though. I'm going to have to do some more because it gets a little lost without something extra. So I've got my little yellow with the hearts. I love that little piece of paper, actually. It's really cute. I keep kind of going back and forth, but I realize this is not going to be tall enough because if I've got to add that 3rd piece of paper, there just really isn't the room for it. So I split it. No big deal. I mean, that's kind of normal, right? And I'm looking at it and I go, okay, so I got to add my little yellow piece, and I cut that at about 1.5 inches. Now it's narrower. In the sketch, she shows all 3 pieces kind of going across, and this one here is not quite wide enough, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it looks cute the way it is, no big deal. But I'm going to kind of dry fit all this stuff together. Now I'm going to take my ATG in just a minute. Oh, by the way, I also do scuff the tops and bottoms of the papers, so I offer a little dimension there. Now I'll take my ATG in a minute, and I'm going to glue it all together, and I don't give myself enough room, and my yellow heart papers are too close together, and I'm going to have to mess around with those and make those I have to fix them. But in the meanwhile, I have mounted like I said, the photos were on the cream color stock because I thought, okay, that looks good. And then I decided to mount it on the diagonal stripe. And then even after that, I think, oh, you're getting a little lost yet still. So I will ultimately go get white cardstock. I said I wouldn't because of the cream background, but I started looking and the stripe actually has white in it as well. So it's okay. It's going to be just fine. And it looks really good after I get it put together. I don't do it just quite yet, but I will. Then I'm going to kind of, I hate to use the word fussy cut, but I cut that Carpe Librum out of that piece of paper that's the florals. Now, I did save those pieces that I mentioned to you that look like they could go like in a planner to track your books. I might use that. So this is where I'm gluing these two close together. I did not give myself a new, because when I lay my photos on there with the mats, they're basically touching the edges of the heart paper, and you'll see in just a second because I'm going to have to fix it. I think even this, I almost mess all this up, you guys. I almost tear things, but you know what? With paper, you can almost cover it up. So anyway, so I'm assembling all this, and this doesn't look bad from like a, color piece and all that, but yeah, I try to put my pictures on there and it's not going to be right. So I'm going to let you watch me kind of do all that, but let me tell you a little bit I'm going to tell you all a secret about this Library of Congress deal. Okay, so we went to D.C., and one of our visits was a library. We were trying to do stuff. This is going to sound terrible, but we stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, you guys, and I think I've done a layout about that. If I've not, I need to. But we stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, so the hotel was pricey. Of course, we had plane tickets, and you're eating and all that kind of stuff. So we're like, okay, well, D.C. has tons of free museums and, of course, it's government buildings and things like that. So the Library of Congress is free, obviously. You just go in. It's a library. And we get in there, and it's just a beautiful building, and we're going around, and there's, little helpers, volunteers or something. I don't know their title, but they'll answer questions, right? And so we're talking to this one gentleman, and he goes, by the way, you can get a library card. And we're like, what? And he says, yeah, you can get a library card. It's because you're a citizen or whatever, you're American citizen. It's not like a, local library. You have to be like a member of the town or something like that. Well, it's a Library of Congress. It's a national library. He says, so you're entitled to a library card. He said, not many people know, but you do have to follow this process, right? You have to go downstairs. I don't recall which floor, but you have to ride the basement down. It's like in the basement, and you go down in there, and they have to see your ID and all this other kind of stuff. But you can get an actual library card to the Library of Congress. And now he said it's kind of not meant for tourists, really. It's meant for like researchers and things like that. But they can't keep you from getting it, so that's what we did. And then that card allows you access to the actual library. Right? So if you're a tourist and you're wandering around upstairs, you look down like over a balcony and you look down into, I forget the term. It's like the well or whatever, but it's like where the librarian actually has like a fancy seat, and he theoretically, or she could, like, there's an actual librarian, like an official librarian. There's like a big old seat in the middle, and then there's all these tables and all these little alcoves with all these little books, but you can't get down in there if you're just a tourist. But if you have a library card, you can. And so my husband was extremely excited because we got to go down in there and wander around and look at some books. And I mean, it's a library, so it's not like there's, it's not like where there's historical document type stuff. So that's, obviously there's other places you go see those things, but it's a library. But it was so neat because we got to go down in there and wander around, and it's just beautiful. The wood is so, old and just stunning. So anyways, it was neat. Okay, so what I've done so far, you kind of seen, I've got the 2 photos. I did mount them on the white cardstock. I've got them on the foam. Then I did build myself an embellishment cluster. She's shown on the sketch an embellishment cluster above the photos on the right, and then in the upper left. I have not started on the one in the lower right yet. She showed a circle. I don't know that she meant necessarily for it to be a circle, but there was a circle on my sticker sheet. So I went ahead and pulled that out and used that in the upper left up there. Now the one on the right over there, I put little stack of books, and there's like a little book, like a library card, like a book enthusiast. It's like the old-timey file cards or whatever. And it just says I Love Books on the other one. And then I have got my Doodlebug yellow font. You can see that on the right-hand side, and I've spelled out Library of Congress, and I'm going to put that over there in just a minute. Now, I've put that little Carpe Librum down there, and I did put a little bit of foam stuff in the top left piece of it, but it's real thin because it's old Pop Dot stuff, and glued all that down. And so now I'm going to, I thought about putting those books on foam for a second, and then I remembered, no, Christine, you're going to put the title on the top of it, so take that off. So I reminded myself. So I've spelled out my Library of Congress. I think this looks so cute, y'all. And then I'm going to kind of buff up my embellishment clusters in just a second. I did like that little banner, and I do like how little banners like this will kind of connect your photos. So I put that down. I will add little tiny foam squares on the little circle parts at the end. You'll see that in a little bit. There was a little girl down there, or a little girl on the sticker sheet. She's reading a book. It says Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Honestly, in my mind, I'm thinking that's us being kind of naughty by going and getting library cards, even though we technically didn't need them, being tourists. And like I said, he didn't act like we were breaking rules or anything like that, but it was like just not the norm. We saw no one else doing that. So we felt kind of rebellious in a way. So I kind of thought of her as like that. And then there was this cute little pair of glasses, and I didn't even notice the floral at first on the sticker sheet. And then I was like, oh, look, there's a floral. So I added a little floral. Now the glasses are going to go up on foam. That takes me just a second. In that upper left up there, I hadn't figured out yet what I'm going to do. It's not going to be just that circle, but I got to still look back at my sticker sheet over there. And I see one piece, like a little horizontal thing that says, what's the plot of this book? And again, I'm kind of tying this back to my memory of us doing this thing that's not normal. But then I noticed there's this other little sticker that says just one more chapter. And I like that shape. And so I'm going to stick that over this circle in just a second. Oh, I put this up on foam. In my head, I'm going, oh, I want this on foam. And I'll stick it back over there again. And then I'll pull it up again in just a minute. Because I'll set that down and I'll think, I've kind of got that real big gap, right, on the right-hand side of the circle above that little bar there. And I know I need something, but I'm not sure yet what. And then I do find this little book that says one more chapter. And I like this a lot. I like that shape. It kind of fills it in. But I do need to kind of pull my stripe up there, or my little horizontal word deal. And then that's going to go there. And then, okay, that's kind of the bulk of my embellishment clusters. But then there's these tiny little stars, and I do love these. These are so cute. They're just little mini stars. I feel like I need a sticker book full of those, you guys. They're so nice. Just little sprinkles. And so I'm going to add 3 in each of my little embellishment cluster sections. And then I'm going to decide to pull out sequins, you guys. I'll clean up my mess, because you'll notice my desk in a second is actually a little cleaner. I actually lost one little star, and then I find it when I'm cleaning. Because you'll see I only have 2 stars in the upper right now. But when I come back on, I have found a 3rd star. And I've organized them just a slight different way. And I've started gluing down my sequins. You can kind of see, I did not make y'all sit there and watch me. I just took my glue and just went boop, boop, boop. And then just kind of like what I'm doing, I'm just picking out individual sequins here. The colors work pretty good. The pink is a little, probably hotter pink than is in the collection, but it still works fine. The turquoise was great. There was like, just little peach color sequins and stuff like that. And it all works pretty good. So I have become a sequin addict, you guys. I bought these people on Scraps, and I'm using them, by golly. And I love this little color collection here. Anyway, so I stick all that down because I contemplated some mixed media like sprinkles or something, but I'm like, I got these sequins, I got the little stars. I'm good. I'm really good. And that's all I'm going to do, you guys. Isn't that cute? Oh, wait, I forgot. I did add that little cup of tea or something on the left-hand side just because that corner looks strange to me. But that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the playlist. I know I say that every time, but I just like to remind everybody. Or if you're new, hey, by the way, if you're new, thanks so much for dropping in. I really appreciate it. I post quite a bit, so y'all like and subscribe and do the notification, all the good stuff, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.